What is up, everyone? Please take a second to hit that like button. More likes we get in a short period of time, the more people the algorithm will bring into the chat to come and hang out with us and see what's going on. So please hit that like button. Let me know how you're doing, and happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. It's been one hell of a day, one problem after another, but we're going to go ahead and get through the news here. We're going to read through the schedule really quick, and we'll check on all the chats, so let me know how you hooligans are doing today. Then, of course, we will be getting things started. We'll be starting off with a video titled, Roaring UFC Crowd Welcomes Trump, Chanting USA. President Trump went and visited the UFC over the weekend. They can talk all that bad stuff about President Trump, but man, people love President Trump. You can tell as soon as he walks in a room. Next up, we got Say Cheese. Governor Whitmer appears to hide from cameras at the White House. Gretchen Whitmer is a weird person, looking like the Joker. Every time I see her, she looks just like the Joker. Then we got a video titled, Competitive Disadvantage. Mississippi Governor explains push to abolish state income tax. It sounds good, but they're going to take away income tax and then increase the tax on gas. So I don't know, we'll see. And then of course they're claiming that that's going to target poor people and whatever. Then we got a video titled What to Know About Social Security Anti-Fraud Measures as they begin. Social Security cracking down on fraud. They don't want to give Doge any credit for that, but you know that's what happened. Then we got a video titled New Airport Rules Mark the Biggest Shakeup in the Airline Industry Yet. They're trying to do some digital ID thing, so whenever they scan your face, they could tell who you are and where you're supposed to be and all kinds of stuff. Then we got an interesting video titled Wisconsin Teen Accused of Killing Parents and then planning to do bad things to President Trump. He was planning to do an assassination attempt, apparently, but thankfully he got detained. Then we got a video from earlier today. It's titled Preposterous. Trump discusses Maryland man deported to El Salvador. President says he cannot return. This is a follow-up video of the individual that the news keeps trying to say is just some poor father from Maryland, but he was accidentally sent to Supermax as an MS-13 gang member, and they're saying, no, it's not a mistake. He is an MS-13 gang member. Then we got a video titled Arson Suspect Allegedly Planned to Beat Pennsylvania Governor with a Hammer, threw a Molotov cocktail into his mansion and burned the room down. Then for the last look, oh my god, I just realized I didn't grab no funny videos of the day. I'm telling you, it's one hell of a day today. We'll be ending the news with a video titled Lefties Losing It. Trump pokes fun at Biden and introduces granddaughter to fake news. Then we will be getting into our funny videos of the day. I will do my best to try and find them as we move forward, and we don't have an advent calendar quite yet, so we'll see how the fun part of today goes. Either way, we're going to read through the chat and we'll go ahead and get everything started. What is up, everyone, over on jeffmaclive.com? What's up, Josh1776? What's up, Guessum? What's up, 10Man? What's up, Russell? What's up, Hair Juicer? What's up, Matt Rogers? What's up, Snooks? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. And what is up, everyone, over on Rumble? Snooks, you were first today. Now, I appreciate everything you do for us, Snooks. What's up, Spicy K? Happy freedom. What's up, Free Thinking Texan? What's up, Sage Pup? What's up, Nashada? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Silver Wolf? Let me see. What's up, Pumpkin? Happy freedom. What's up, Tony Rez? What's up, MU? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Enter User? Appreciate you being here. Russell, you are omnipresent. I appreciate you. What's up, Zupia? What's up, Kevin? What's up, Elder Zoomer? Happy freedom to you. Guess you were omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Salty Ragu? Happy freedom. Let me see. Oh, I see. Damn, we got trolls already? That's all right. Appreciate all of you guys being here over on Rumble. Make sure you hit that like button. See if you can get us on the front page. And what is up, everyone, over on Kick? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone, over on Twitch? What's up, Jay Blazer? Happy freedom. What's up, Tony Rich? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Harley Davidson? Matt Rogers, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. And what is up, everyone, over on the Goof Tube? Matt Rogers, you were first over here. Silver Wolf, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Toy Mafia? What's up, Cheeky Chops? Russell, you were truly omnipresent. What's up, Watchman? Happy freedom to you. Guess you were omnipresent. What's up, Meme Merchant? Happy freedom to you. And let's see who's all over on X. Here we go. Happy freedom, you hooligans watching over on X. Like I said, we're going to get started in this first video. It's titled Roaring UFC Crowd Welcomes Trump, Chanting USA. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to remind you hooligans really quick. We have these Golden Age t-shirts. Now, this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass in just about everything he does. So I will be posting his link in all of the chats for you hooligans to have the opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now, this design does come in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, stickers, dog tags, and we've made cooking aprons out of this design. Today I got on the Plain Jane Hooligan t-shirt. We got lots of items and lots of designs over on the merch store. I'll be dropping all the links in the chats while we're watching this first video.
Last night, President Trump held basically a cabinet meeting at a UFC fight. He took an entire entourage, including Dana White, down to in Miami to the UFC fight. Brought his granddaughter Kai, who's a great golfer, was not at the
She's
Masters.
University of Miami. Yeah, I bet they're watching the Masters today.
And then they meet the president.
That's right.
And they like him, or we know people and we go, I wish you could meet him because he's not the guy you think he is. Here's Dana White talking about that phenomena around Donald Trump.
So the first thing that happens is Bill Maher walks in into the Oval Office, and me and the president were in there, and he has a piece of paper with every name that the president has called him over the last, however many years. There were like 100 names on this list, and it was hilarious. Thank God he had two of them, because I had them both sign it, and I'm getting it framed and hanging it in my office. But I think the coolest thing about that meeting and that dinner was two guys who have not liked each other for a very long time, two guys who have many opposing views, got together and sat down and talked, and they talked about a lot of things that they agree on and a lot of things that they disagree on. But Kid Rock and I always say, and you know this better than anybody, nobody walks into a meeting or a dinner with Donald Trump and walks out and doesn't like him. It's impossible. And if you say you don't, you're lying.
It's the charm vortex. You fall into the charm vortex.
It's 100% true. And I think this is so important, the way that people are responding in the sports universe. Trump was controversial in 2016. ESPN tried to turn him into an awful human being. Men are over it.
He had his golf tournaments. Remember the golf tournaments were canceled.
Totally.
Yeah.
And ESPN had employees calling him a white supremacist.
Yeah.
I mean, and now they have to, first of all, cover him walking in with a rock star reception. Yeah. I mean, that was the ESPN video that we were playing.
The next 4 years is the Bill Maher convention here at the White House.
Yeah, this is the unifier that no one saw coming.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting about it, and I know a lot of sports guys who don't care about politics, they care about sports, and they care about politics, they care about government and stuff like that, but their real focus is just not that. But they've been, whatever it is, red-pilled or black-pilled or whatever. To think about where the credibility, who lost all the credibility and all that? The media. Yeah. They will never believe anything the media ever tells them ever again.
And the Democrat Party.
All right, so President Trump visiting the UFC over the weekend. Obviously, everybody thought that was fantastic. You could hear the crowd cheering and stuff. I don't know why I'm all washed out on the screen. I don't understand what's going on there. But either way, President Trump getting a warm welcome there at the UFC. And they bring up Bill Maher, which I don't really know a whole lot about Bill Maher, but apparently he's some Trump hater, or at least he was until he actually sat there and had dinner with President Trump. So I assume all of Bill Maher's compadres is going to be turning against him. That's how things go. Just like, what is his name? The mayor of New York, Eric Adams, right? He was all anti-Trump and all of that stuff, and pro-Biden and pro-sanctuary cities, and then he turned his back on Biden because Biden refused to give financial aid to New York City to help take care of all those border crossers. So Eric Adams decided to no longer be in favor of Biden. Of course, Biden started using lawfare against him. And then we got the Orange Eagle back into the White House, and President Trump helped Eric Adams with his charges. Those charges were dismissed, claiming that he was involved in corruption and stuff like that. And as soon as they found out that he was complying with ICE and Trump's mass deportation agenda, all of a sudden, all of Eric Adams' friends started turning against him. And the governor of New York was trying to strip Eric Adams of his power as mayor and all kinds of stuff. So we can assume the same treatment's going to be coming to Bill Maher, or however you say his fucking name. But either way, we can expect that. And next up, we have Say Cheese. Governor Whitmer appears to hide from cameras at the White House. She is a weird individual. The older she gets, the more she looks like the Joker. And I can't remember who played Jack Nicholson. She looks like Jack Nicholson playing the Joker. That's exactly what she looks like. So either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about President Trump going to the UFC, as well as Bill Maher, or however you say his name, warming up to President Trump. Hair juicer. I don't even know what you're talking about. Hold on. Oh, you got Tommy Anna calendar? You're a badass, hair juicer. Thank you so much, and thank you for letting me know. I'll definitely get it picked up tomorrow. Thank you, hair juicer. 10 man. Happy freedom to you. Guess I would not do Gretchen. I have low standards. Yeah, I wouldn't do Gretchen Whitmer either. There's just no way. There's no way. She's so foul. She would get men pregnant. It's just, I don't know. Let's see. 10 man. I don't know why Hill doesn't just go get a life. Like, to sit here and bother us because he got himself banned. I don't know. What an idiot. He's a terrorist. Russell, Trump is bringing people together and the left hates it. Absolutely. Guess Jeff's glowing. Is he knocked up? Nah, I'm not knocked up. Thank God. For the Texan, I'd do Gretchen. Well, maybe you can fix her because she needs fixing. I'll tell you that. Zupia, what a Nazi. How dare he spend tax money to go to the UFC? Yeah, I'm sure that's what the lefties are saying. They bitch about him going and playing golf for the same reason. They didn't care that Biden spent more than half his time in office on the beach. President Trump goes to play golf on the golf course, and he's a terrible person. Tony Rez, remember when the FBI tried to kidnap her? Yeah, they never stopped talking about it here in Michigan. This is on the news damn near every day. They still bring it up every once in a while, even though they were mostly Fed boys. Brian, Bill has some TDS, but he never was a pure liberal. He can be on point and is capable of thinking. Interesting, Brian. I'll have to actually check some of his clips out. I can picture his face, but I've never heard him actually talk about anything. What's up, Puffin Stuff? Happy Freedom. Greasy Gretchen. Yeah, she is. Kevin, she looks like a see you next Tuesday. I know, I feel the same way. What's up, Tree Herder? Happy Freedom to you. For the Texan, yeah. The crazy ones do the best, but at the same time, they'll burn your house down. So, you got to weigh your options. Hair juicer, yeah, I'm just saying I won't start the live until they deliver it. Enter user is Bill Maher. Thank you for letting me know. What's up, Stoner? Happy Freedom. We're not having internet issues right now. If you're seeing stuttering on Rumble, it could be the app. What's up, Meta? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Chaplain? Happy Freedom. Chaplin's coming up next. What's up, Cinderella? What's up, Jim? What's up, Mr. Satan? What's up, Cecil? Happy Freedom. What's up, Salty? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Mana? Happy Freedom. What's up, Agent O? What's up, Find It, Fix It? What's up, Scott? Happy Freedom. What's up, Mike Ingalls? What's up, Tony Rich? Appreciate you being over on X. Guess Gretchen is the reason we need masks. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Well, let's go ahead and get into the Greasy Gretch. Not that way, you nasty hooligans. This is titled, Say Cheese, Governor Whitmer appears to hide from cameras at the White House. All right. Hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
Governor Whitmer.
Tough one.
This story, I'm going to give it to Charlie because he's the one that brought it to my attention.
Well, it's really funny
and it's just too much.
because, of course, Donald Trump is in the Oval Office talking about some of his key accomplishments, not the least of which is his new tack on trade in the United States. And Gretchen Whitmer winds up in the Oval Office, And as she's there, and
I thought this was a fake photo.
I did
thought
too.
this was AI.
I did too.
When I first saw it, I had to actually go to the New York Times, make sure Eric Lee, who's a magnificent photographer for the New York Times, snapped this picture. She's in the Oval Office with Trump, and Trump is like signing different EOs. And at one point, he's talking about efforts to get rid of some invasive fish in some of the Great Lakes, and turns to her, and she comes out and starts talking about it, and she's in support of what he's doing. She also says that she's in support of what Donald Trump is doing with tariffs and with trade. And Gretchen Whitmer is the shining hope for the Democrat Party. They think that because, as you pointed out in the last hour, Clay, if you can turn Michigan, if Democrats can't keep Michigan, they're done. And so the idea that she's in the Oval Office talking in support of what Donald Trump is doing, to me, is kind of a lights out moment for Democrats.
Yeah, but she also, Donald Trump also brought up election integrity issues, and that's where she kind of lost it and put the thing up and says, I'm not for election integrity. So here, by the way, it says, Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan stood glumly, this is the New York Times, in the Oval Office, hoping no one would take notice of her or take her picture. She found herself an unwilling participant in President Trump's unending reality TV show, with photos of her rocketing around group chats of Democrat strategists who wondered what on earth was she doing. It's remarkable.
Well, this is supposed to be the future of the Democrat Party. And that photo of her hiding in the Oval Office, first of all, she went. If you truly think that Trump is the Antichrist, right? If you think he's Hitler, maybe don't show up in the Oval Office. But once you get there, I think you kind of have to own it. I mean, if I came on guest hosting and tried to hide on the couch, I think people would be like, this guy Clay Travis is a clown. Get him off the couch. They may be saying that anyway, but they certainly would be saying it if I was hiding like she was.
That picture will not only be very effective in a general election, it will also be very effective in a primary. And it's
no doubt.
It's going to be devastating in a primary.
You know, the whole premise of feminists like Governor Whitmer is that, women are as capable as men, right? Fair. I believe that myself. However, could you ever imagine Donald Trump doing that?
No, of course not.
He'd be there and he might interrupt and go, hey, but I think this or whatever. I mean, he's not going to take a folder and hide himself like this. It is the most cowardly thing to do. It's so weak. And you're right. It will be used against her.
I think also it was just so incredibly generous of Trump to even give her a shout out.
Yeah.
He was, if anything, Trump was being too kind
Ever
to
the
her,
master of ceremonies, right?
That's right. He was being welcoming.
The charm offensive rolls on.
Oh, man. She didn't.
All right, Gretchen Whitmer, our governor here in Michigan. I'm telling you, giving Jack Nicholson a run for his money there. Look at that face. Holy crap, she has evolved since the lockdowns. She just gets scarier and scarier, like a walking nightmare. God forbid she gets held accountable for killing all those old people during the lockdowns. We were in the lockdowns first and last. We were in lockdowns longer than any other state, thanks to that douchebag right there. It's nice stuff there. And I'm really surprised that President Trump is playing ball with her. We know that he likes to deal with people that don't like him, or maybe they're just bad for the country, just so they get out in front of everybody and everyone can witness how terrible they are. Maybe this is one of those situations. We know that Governor Whitmer isn't worth a whole lot. They faked her FBI kidnapping crap that happened. They still talk about it here on the radio every once in a while. They'll bring it up. Oh, poor Gretchen Whitmer, blah, 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 blah. They were going to get her. I think they do that to make people forget that she would only unlock the counties where her husband was going to vacation and stuff like that. I think it's to make us forget the way that she treated all of us during the lockdowns. She put us under really harsh conditions, and then near the end of the lockdowns, the Supreme Court here was like, yeah, that's unconstitutional. She can't do that, and undid all of it at the end of the lockdowns. After we had already been suffering for however long it took for them to get us out of the lockdowns. She is an awful person. She deserves to hide her face in the Oval Office. She should have never been even invited in there, but either way, that's just my opinion. Next up, competitive disadvantage. Mississippi governor explains push to abolish state income tax. It sounds good, but they're going to increase gas tax, which is obviously a bad thing. But it's real controversial because people are saying, well, if you increase the gas tax, tax, then you are targeting poor people, as if all of us don't drive cars. But either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Gretchen Whitmer being at the Oval Office and hiding her face. Snugs, Trump is very diplomatic. I agree. Russell, if you ain't first, you're last. Yeah, we were both over here in Michigan. Russell, most Democrats are weak. Absolutely. They have to remain weak, otherwise they have a hard time portraying a victim. Josh 1776, I'm surprised that Trump isn't going after her for the fake kidnapping plot. Yeah. I guess I just threw up a little bit when I seen her. See, my butthole gets really tight because I don't know. I don't trust her. She's something else. And man, that's a goofy bitch. She is. She's scary looking too. She keeps doing all these injections and stuff. Josh 1776, that plastic face, nasty. It is. What's up, Jay Spray? Happy freedom to you. That's the best I've seen her look. I mean, I guess. I don't know. She's pretty rough. What's up, my feed? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Alistair? Happy freedom to you. I bet Alistair walks in like this because everyone's always got shirt ideas and stuff. They're like, wait, let me tell you all my ideas. He's like, please, I'm just trying to hang out. You're a celebrity, Alistair. What's up, Bill Clay? Happy freedom. Careful or she'll get your little dog too. I mean, I don't want somebody to drop a house on her, but man, she is a wicked witch, I'll tell you that. Pumpkin, I remember Whitmer wouldn't let anyone buy paint. Yeah. She made it so it was like a $1,200 fine if you got caught leaving your house and you weren't going to the hospital or getting essentials. And there was people who were actually getting those tickets. I wonder if there's people who refused to pay those tickets and maybe they just went away. But they were going crazy about that stuff. There was counties in Michigan saying that they were refusing to enforce that mandate that it was. There was officers saying, no, we're not going to charge Americans a fee for leaving their house. That's not right. But then there was other people, because, you got bad eggs and all a bunch. Cops out there were like, yeah, we're going to pull a car over. It's got 5 people inside. Each person is getting a $1,200 ticket for being outside. I don't know. I don't miss the lockdown. Some people miss the lockdowns because it was more interesting. Life was unpredictable for day to day, but I don't miss the lockdowns. Not at all. Appeal to Heaven. How far are we from Lincoln Park? I don't know. It must be far. Not real far. Michigan's only like 4 hours across. But let me see really quick, because I've never even heard of Lincoln Park in Michigan. It could either be that it's out of ignorance or that it's on the other side of the state. Yeah, it's on the other side of the state. It's Detroit side. I am on the opposite side of Michigan. So it's probably 4.5 hours away from me. Shroomish, she looks anorexic now. Maybe she's on the Ozempic. What's up, Mike T? Happy freedom to you. Stoner, I can change her. Yeah, well, do it up. Do us all a favor here at Michigan. Please fix her. Free thinking text. I'm not reading that out loud, but that is hilarious. Holy. Josh 1776, does Alistair know how to use Blender? Potentially. I don't think he's on the website right this second, but we'll see. Meta. Cool, good PR move for President Trump going to the UFC. Trump looks a little overwhelmed or bored. I meant with being ringside. The setup is intense. Yeah, well, and President Trump usually gets a lot of engagement when he ends up at the UFC. The last time he was there, the fighters kept jumping out of the ring to go shake hands with him, and I think the one guy even gave him a belt, gave him his belt that he had won or something like that. He gets shout outs and stuff, so it's probably, I mean, President Trump never looks stressed. Even when he got shot in the ear, he didn't look that damn stressed. I'm stressed when the internet hiccups in a day. So I don't know. He's got an iron nerve. But I imagine to a regular person, it's probably stressful to be in that situation, to be at the UFC, so many people around you. You get all that hate on the internet and stuff. You never know if one of these yahoos in the crowd want to try something stupid. And then on top of being the president, you got the fighters who are now distracted because the president's there. They want to do shout outs and talk politics when they get a chance to speak in the mic. Or like I said, even hop outside the ring to go shake hands with him and do all this kind of unorthodox stuff, which obviously causes stress on Secret Service and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's really intense just being the president alone, let alone being at the UFC. But America loves it. America loves it, absolutely. Chaplain, don't forget, Whitmer only shut down the schools for 90 days, right? Not. Yeah. It was like 2 years kids weren't going to school, and now they're like, I wonder why they can't read, write, or do math. I wonder why kids in 5th and 6th grade can't read. And like, oh yeah, you wonder? Like, because I don't wonder. I know exactly why that stuff's going. What's up, Park? Happy Freedom? Governor Whitmer would hide in a bunker away from everyone protesting her. Yeah. And she'd get on TV and cry about how scared she is and why we need to extend the lockdowns and blah, blah, blah. Hated that stuff. We used to cover it every once in a while. They didn't make big announcements when she was going to speak. They still don't. But every once in a while we would cover her and I'd just be scowling at her. That was before the kidnapping plot. What's up, Killer J? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Tori Wayne? Happy Freedom to you. Salty with the mask. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Man, I don't miss pretending to have a dog and looking for it during the lockdowns. Yeah, I don't miss having to wear a body cam just to go to Walmart. Craig, happy freedom to you. Melania had an exorcism performed after she left the Oval Office. I hope so. I hope so. We don't want her leaving any demons behind. What's up, Vinyl? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Michael? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Sam? Happy freedom. Russell, I don't know what a blender is, but I know what a blender is. Yeah, well, they're talking about software, but me and you, we're talking about margaritas, okay? It's a little different. We're speaking different languages, Russell. We're going to get into this next one. Like I said, competitive disadvantage. Mississippi governor explains push to abolish state income tax. Like I said, it sounds like a good thing, but they're claiming that if they're going to take away state income tax, they're going to add tax onto gas. Just give or take, I suppose. But before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out, as we're making Saturdays more fun. Let's get this pulled up here. Little good, little bad news from Mississippi. And they list at the end, they list a couple states that are also going to try something like this. They didn't mention Michigan, of course, but they may have mentioned a state that you live in. Either way, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
Now this, Mississippi and Kentucky want to be the first states in 45 years to get rid of their state income tax. Steve Harrigan joining me. Steve, what do they have to do to get this done?
Stuart, this has been a long battle here in Mississippi, at least 10 years to become the first state since Alaska, all the way back in 1980, flush with oil money to actually get rid of their own state tax. Now, the Mississippi governor has signed the bill. It's going to not happen all at once, but really gradually over 14 years. It's going to go from 4% to 3% and then slightly more each year until it gets down to zero. If they do hit certain benchmarks, the governor here says it's something that needs to be done in order to help the state compete economically.
The people of our state understand that Texas and Florida and Tennessee, the people with whom we compete for businesses and people, have no income tax, and we were at a competitive disadvantage.
Part of that lost revenue will be made up from a new tax on gasoline. Critics say it's a move that will unfairly target Mississippi's poorest residents.
We want to raise gas tax by 9 cents a gallon in a state that doesn't have any real mass transit. So you have poor people lowest per capita income in the country, having to buy gas to try to get back and forth to work, and most of them don't have a living wage. And so we're putting a regressive tax on the people who can least afford it.
Kentucky's trying to do the same thing. They are moving slightly more cautiously. The lawmakers are going to have to approve each cut along the way. And Oklahoma and Missouri also trying to reduce or eliminate their state taxes. They say they have to do it to compete. Stuart, back to you.
Got it. Steve Harrigan, thank you very much.
All right. So like I said, they're trying to get away from income tax, but then they're going to turn around and boost gas tax. And then, of course, they have a Democrat show up and say, oh, well, if you do this, this is going to target poor people. You hate black people and these kind of people and minorities and shapeshifters and everything else and blah, blah, blah. Cry, cry, cry. Where's my tissue and my tampon? And, you know, they got to do that. It wouldn't be politics without it. So, I don't know. I think it'd be all right. I think a little gas tax is not going to be so much of a burden that you're going to be like, nah, let's continue with the income tax. I think most people don't want the income tax. So, like I said, they mentioned some states at the end. I was talking to a hooligan, so I missed what states they were. But we're probably going to have more follow-ups of this sort, considering there's other states considering doing the same thing, getting away from income tax. Of course, we'll stay up to date with it. Next up, what to know as Social Security anti-fraud measures begin. So Social Security is cracking down on fraud. We kind of know why, because we've been staying up to date with Doge. And they found millions of Social Security numbers that are more than 150 years old. All those people were supposedly still collecting Social Security, even though it's an impossibility that they're still alive. Obviously, there's a lot of Social Security fraud going on. Well, apparently they spent billions, I think they said billions, of tax doll hairs to install software that's going to help crack down on fraud when it comes to Social Security. They're also going to change some other minor details on how this all works. Apparently, it is terrible to try and contact these people over the phone. So they're going to try and make that a better experience. But in certain situations, you're still going to have to go to the Social Security office if you're going to need to fix your claims or however that works. I've never had to go to the Social Security office, so I'm kind of limited in what I know about this. But either way, they got some new anti-fraud system in place. It's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Mississippi potentially getting rid of income tax, but increasing gas tax in response. Josh 1776, electric vehicles weighing twice as much don't pay gas tax? Yeah, I mean, I guess not. I don't really know how that works. I don't know anybody that's got an electric car or hangs out at charging stations for 30 minutes a day or whatever. I don't really know a whole lot about that, but yeah. And I guess there's weird laws, like the laws are considered being amended because of the way things are. I'm trying to think how to word this. The rules of the road are based off gas car lingo. So CCs and miles per hour and all this kind of stuff. But in the law, it's language like a gas-powered vehicle and stuff, or a combustion engine. And there's a lot of laws wrote with that language, and electric cars don't have gas engines. They don't have a combustion going on in the engine. So some people are trying to make the argument that those laws or electric cars are exempt from those laws because of the wording. And I wish people didn't play semantics so much. We know what the words are supposed to mean. But people are like, well, it said, like the illegals. Well, illegals got rights because our Constitution doesn't specify to American citizens. Like, what do you mean? It's our Constitution for our country that we are citizens of. Why would it protect anybody else? But you got, people out here playing the semantics games, the labels and all of that. And so, yeah, I don't know what to say about electric cars. It's a mess. Josh 1776, the entire reason for the gas tax is to fix roads, and electric vehicles do the most damage to roads. Yep. Russell, too bad they don't fix the roads. You're not wrong. Guess if they start taxing gas, we should boycott Taco Bell. That'll get the job done right there. Appeal to Evan. Most people I ask that have a Tesla, is it worth it? And they're like, They like it, but it's just not worth the money to me. Yeah, appeal to heaven. That's what I think too. If they were more affordable, if it was easier to charge them, if charging stations were more available, it'd be more considerable. But it's just not. It's really gimmicky right now. They're not as good as gas cars. And if you ain't got the extra money, then why go through it? You know, most places can't even work on them. It's a pain in the ass to even tow the damn thing. Like if the battery dies or you get a flat tire or whatever happens, to have a tow truck come get you is a nightmare. So it's like, why make life hard? Life is hard. Life is way harder than it should be. There's no need to go out and be an overachiever here. Get yourself an electric car just to make your life that much harder. It just doesn't make sense. At least where I live, that's how it is. Dabs, the electric trucks are the major issue. Look up the battery weight. Yeah, I believe it. Sage Pup, if they get rid of state income tax, they'll have more money on their paychecks. Absolutely. Enter user, did they mention Missouri? Yeah. Pumpkin, let's do that then, and then ignore the Dems. Yep, sounds right. Tony Rez, is she the reason it gets cold in Michigan? I think so. I think that's why it's winter all the way to May. It's because of Gretchen Whitmer. What's up, Mary Todd? Happy freedom to you. Enter user, so did the cows stop farting or what? Yeah, I guess, because they ain't been crying about it. They must have got the farts on a minimum at this point. Guess after 60, life ain't as hard as it used to be. I think I see what you're saying there, guess sometimes life being hard is fun. Depends what you're talking about. Meta, paying more for gas hits seniors, especially disabled, who do not pay income tax. Yeah, I suppose. Torp, I'll pass on the gas tax. Pass the gas tax? Mm-hmm. Happy freedom to you, Torp. What's up, Damon? Happy freedom to you. I don't know what you're saying in the chat. That's alright. What's up, Robin Hood? Welcome back. Happy freedom. What's up, Deeper? Liberal protesters firebomb Tesla dealerships. Conservative protesters sit back, crack a beer, and watch Teslas catch on fire all by themselves. Yeah. Either way, we got Teslas on fire this year. What's up, Wayward? Happy freedom to you. You work in Kentucky? I pay taxes in Kentucky where I work, in Ohio where I live. Drive about 20 miles a day. Tesla might be nice. I mean, it could be. Like I said, it's kind of situational. Around where I live, there is no charging stations. They're just not around. They're very far and few. And so you don't want to be stuck in a situation where it's 11 o'clock at night. You got to drive 30 miles to the closest charging station. And really, you just want to take a trip to Taco Bell, but you'll have to spend 35 minutes at the charging station because you're running low on battery, I guess. And I don't know. It becomes a pain in the ass because there's a Wesco right over there, but you wouldn't be able to go there. I think that would have been the smart idea, is to put charging stations at gas stations, because they put gas stations all over the place so you don't run out of fucking gas. I mean, unless you're near Minnesota and North Dakota, those places fucking suck. I went over there to get my buddy because he needed some help. I had to go pick him up. Ran out of gas because they want you to go 500 miles before you see another gas station. I don't know why the hell it's like that out there. Hopefully they built more gas stations, but it was like the Wild West when I was out there. But other than that specific place in the country, they should have just put charging stations at gas stations. That would have made sense, instead of putting them at Meijer parking lots. Most people don't even know what a Meijer is, so like, you're picking up when I'm laying down here. Alistair, most gas stations near me have charging stations. Yeah, see, it's a good idea. It's not like that here. Maybe they'll catch on around here. Let's go ahead and get into this next video. Like I said, what to know as Social Security anti-fraud measures begin. This is Social Security cracking down on fraud. Again, I don't think they praised Doge in this, but, you know, they weren't worried about fraud in Social Security until Doge brought it up. Just saying. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Starting today, a shift in requirements for receiving Social Security. So beginning today, the Social Security Administration will perform anti-fraud checks on all claims that are made over the phone. It's a decision that's being hailed as a win for the Trump administration amid a tumultuous last couple weeks here. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer joins us live this morning. I mean, Brooke, this impacts a lot of families and recipients. Why the change?
Well, the White House marquee says that it spent over $16 million on new anti-fraud software that they say will let employees flag suspected fraud over the phone, meaning that most people won't need to come in person to an office. Starting today, as you mentioned, people can once again pick up the phone and call to file Social Security claims. It's a reversal from a plan announced last month that would have forced most people to verify their identity online or in person at an office. And it was a change that raised concerns from many, including the elderly and people who live in rural areas, who argued that phone access is critical. Before the change was announced last week, we actually spoke with people who were already dealing with incredibly long wait times as they tried to call Social Security for help and got nowhere.
I stayed on the line for 3 hours, and after 3 hours, they hung up on me, so that's the reason why I'm here today. I tried several times. I mean, like, all this week I have tried.
I made a call, and I was on the phone for 5 hours. And so here I am today, and I'm hoping that everything's going to work out, but 5 hours on the phone, and so I thought that was kind of ridiculous.
The acting Social Security commissioner said that customers and Congress made it clear the policy needs to be updated to better provide better customer service to the country's most vulnerable populations. Now, the SSA didn't say what would constitute as a fraud risk indicator, but said that of the 4.5 million phone claims they get a year, 70,000 may be flagged. And if you are flagged over the phone by this new software, the White House says you'll still need to come in person to a Social Security office. Marky?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinin.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see, because the government doesn't usually do anything that actually benefits us. You'll know when we get into this airport thing where they're trying to digitally scan your face as a part of your ID. So it makes me wonder, what is this anti-fraud stuff actually going to do? Because half the Democrats are claiming that it's not even fraud. That those Social Security numbers had meaning. There was some code to them or something like that. While Elon was out there saying, no, there's millions of people frauding the Social Security system using somebody else's Social Security numbers to collect Social Security 200 years after they're supposed to be gone. So obviously there's fraud, but it just makes me wonder what kind of software costs billions of dollars. That doesn't make any sense to me. And is it going to make life harder for people that have to call into Social Security and all of that? Like, what if you get flagged as fraud and you're not fraud? Now you got to get up and you got to go into the office and deal with those yahoos, right? And they don't know anything. They're just sitting there just trying to get through the day like everybody else at work. You got to wait in line. You got to make an appointment. You got to do, jump through the hoops. You don't want to jump through the hoops. It's not your fault you're getting flagged by some AI system. And if they do, catch someone as fraud, do they just shut your stuff down? How does that even work? Yeah, they didn't provide a whole lot of detail. Now, hopefully it actually is something good, saving us some tax doll hairs and stuff in the future. I just worry about the people who fall through the cracks. I got that kind of luck, right? Where if I was collecting Social Security, I'd get flagged as fraud for some reason. It'd take me 2.5 weeks to get it all straightened out, making phone calls and all that other stuff. And then you get these people who are saying, they're on the phone for 5 hours, just waiting to talk to somebody. I've been in that boat. When we went through the lockdowns and we weren't able to go to work, I had to collect unemployment. I paid into it. I wasn't trying to be a bum. We weren't allowed to go to work. And what was I supposed to do? And so when I was collecting unemployment, just like everybody else in Michigan, the system crashed. The system could not handle the entire state calling unemployment. So you would just sit there on the phone calling Marvin, and you'd get through and they'd say, oh, sorry, there's too many people, we can't take your call, and it'd hang up on you. And you'd hit redial and you'd wait and you'd press 1 and then you'd wait and all day. I remember doing it for like 10 hours one day and getting to the end of the day where they no longer accept calls and having to go to sleep not knowing if I could eat food the next day. and then wake up the next day and get back on the phone and just sit there all damn day, wait, listening to pre-recorded messages. That is terrible. That is terrible to have to go through. So we'll see how these changes affect Social Security. Next up, new airport rules mark the biggest shakeup in airline industry yet. And this is what I was talking about. They're trying to scan your face so it'll work as your passport. So as you walk around, they can take your identity through facial recognition. And now it's starting to sound like the CCP around here. Either way, it's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Social Security's new anti-fraud system. Russell, there's been fraud in the Social Security for decades. Absolutely. Millions of cases right now. So, yeah. Judge 1776, I'm confused. The system is broken, so they make it worse. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those situations where they got to break it all the way, and eventually they'll just rebuild it from scratch. What's up, Breeze by you? Happy Freedom. Hair juicers, Social Security is bullshit. Tax forms, mortgage statements, birth certificate, nothing was enough. Got a statement from my dentist and got my SS card in 2 minutes with a document that I could have forged in 5 minutes. Yeah, and that's what I mean. You're dealing with people that don't care about nothing. They're just doing their job. They're doing it piss poor, just like everybody else. And you got your livelihood, is relying on that. It's a sucky situation. For the Texan, when you go into the Social Security office, you see more people from Mexico than anyone. Yeah. It's probably because of what the government was doing, handing out Social Security numbers. We were covering that on Saturday, I think. I was talking about that, how illegals were being given Social Security numbers, and the government just all of a sudden started listing these people as deceased to cut off their benefits and give them even more incentive to self-deport. And it's like, oh, you guys didn't do that until Doge found all the fraud that you claim is not fraud? Oh, okay. They don't want to give Doge any credit at all. Shroomish, all this airport security is because terrorists wouldn't have to deal with it if we didn't back a certain country. Well, if we didn't cause wars, pay for both sides, and everything else that happens. I wonder how this would have worked with all the illegals that they were transporting by airplane. They had all those illegals that were sleeping at airports. They were giving them free plane rides, no passports, no trips through security or anything like that. They were just being walked in. None of their luggage was being checked. But no, us? Oh, no, we got to be top flight security. And it's like, oh, okay. Appeal to heaven. I waited 8 hours to talk to someone for EBT. Yeah, they need to fix those systems there. I can't stand it whenever something like that happens and then they're like, yeah, well, go to the government website, and you go to your state website and it's trash. It's clunky. It barely works. And you're like, wait a minute, what do you do with all my tax dollars? Because you sure as hell don't put it towards the website. You don't put it to the phone systems. Hire more people to answer the phone. Like, do something. What's up, Let's Go Brandon? Happy Freedom to you. Meta, well, yeah, everyone calling to find out if Trump is really cutting Social Security, jamming up the lines. Well, yeah, and that's Democrats' faults too, because he's not even cutting Social Security. They're just out there telling everyone that he is, that he's cutting Social Security and he's cutting Medicaid. And then you see those liberals dragging special needs individuals into these protests, which is completely uncalled for, and getting them all riled up. And it's like, it's not even happening. Like, you might as well be mad that the sky's falling. Or being mad that we're all moving to Mars. Like, it's not even happening. You just want to be mad? Like, find something real to be mad at. There's so many problems in the world. You want to bitch about things that ain't even happening? Must be nice to have that much free time. Guess who? Them 200-year-olds are just on that grind. I guess they're staying alive just to collect that Social Security. Robinhood, my VA filing took 40 hours. Yeah, that's crazy. That is completely uncalled for. You guys hear those kids outside? Salty. My coworker's Tesla got vandalized and glass packed the driver window. Nothing taken. Took 2 weeks to fix. That's crazy, Salty. Yeah, and we covered, it might have been last year, electric vehicles do not really survive car accidents. If you, like, even get in a fender bender and your bumper gets crushed in, the battery could be compromised, and they don't really have a way to tell if it is or isn't officially. And so if the possibility happens that the battery could be compromised, your whole car is totaled. And you get rear-ended at a McDonald's in the drive-thru, boop, you just lost your car. Like, stupid. I don't know. Stuff is stupid. And now you got these idiot liberals drawing swastikas on the side. There's nothing like having somebody vandalize your stuff, put a swastika on it, and then call you a Nazi. I mean, stupid. We're in a stupid point of life right now. Where you can't charge it at home. F that. You could charge your car at the house, but I think you got to have your amps and all that stuff set up. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think you have to have like special breakers and stuff. Kind of like if you get a dryer, right? You get a dryer put in at your house. You can't just plug the damn thing into the wall. It's got to have like ampage that can handle the dryer. And I think a charging station for your house is the same way. But then you get into the realm of charging your car at the house, the battery catches on fire, now your house catches on fire. So, you know, there's that too. So, I don't know. Electric vehicles are they're risky. Snooks, you thought the noise was Klaus? No, there's kids outside playing on the swings. Sam, it's chilly this time of year. Yeah. All right, hooligans. We'll go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, new airport rules mark the biggest shakeup in airline industry yet. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick. If you would like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, the website, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We have chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live, so definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. Let's get into this. This is goofy stuff. This has got to be an invasion of our privacy, but let's go ahead and entertain this anyways. Hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
New airport rules plan to get rid of boarding passes and check in and go fully digital. The way it works, passengers would download a biometric passport on their phone, drop off their luggage, and go through security after a face scan. Then you'd board the plane without showing your ticket or a passport at all. But what does that all mean for your privacy? Let's ask Kurt, the cyber guy. He joins us now. Katie on the staff here went through, she said, in Dubai. They just looked right at her. Boom, she goes in. So this is happening some places already. Should we be nervous? I mean, that feels kind of like a pretty big step.
Well, Clay, good morning to you. I'm wondering, who's in control of all of this data?
Great question.
Who is going to be the one that keeps the safety of all our deeply personal facial recognition data safe that matches to our credentials? It is what people are calling the biggest shakeup in the airline industry in at least 50 years. Airlines and airports doing away over the next 3 years with the check-in process, as well as scanning a boarding pass. That'll all go away. A biometric digital travel credential will be created, or you could use your smartphone. It's going to show your face to a scanner when you enter the airport, and boom, you're in, just like Clay was saying. And this is, this digital travel credential will carry everything. It'll have your passport on it. It'll have your driver's license on it. It'll have your ticket on it. And it'll also understand your flight information to know if you're in the right place at the right time. Well, this is expected to radically shorten the amount of time you need at the airport. But again, a lot of questions about who's going to be in control of this data. We already know that all they're telling us, Clay, is that as far as what you and I scan in, that when we go to the airport and we scan our faces, that within 15 seconds, our data is going to be wiped from that reader. But what about on the other end? Who's controlling all of that? There are a lot of unanswered questions here.
Kurt, I also expect, because every single day it seems like I open up a news app and data has leaked. You're saying that would be scrubbed in 15 seconds. I think a lot of people out there watching are asking the question, really? Because it feels inevitable that all of this highly sensitive data would at some point get scrubbed, get taken, get scanned, and end up in the wrong hands. Am I crazy for this to worry about it? I don't think so.
Well, the world has been really bad at tracking all of this stuff, Clay. I think you're right. And the fact is, I don't know who's been determined to be in control of this data. And if it's a universal thing from the UN, and I don't know if many people know this, but, the UN dictates a lot of what happens when we fly. And they're the ones that are behind why we have the universal language or the global language at airports is English. So they also determine these sorts of things. So be actually very curious to see what Rachel's husband, Secretary Sean, thinks about this when it hits his desk, because it inevitably will.
No doubt. We got some connections here in the studio. Kurt, you do fantastic work. You can get his Cyber Guy report newsletter along with his free scam survival guide at cyberguy.com. Thanks a ton, Kurt.
Okay, so they're going to scan your face. They're going to attach it to a list of identification details. And then you just show up at the airport, tell them where you want to go. They'll attach that information to your digital ID. And then they'll scan your faces as you walk around the airport, making sure you are where you're supposed to be. That's exactly what they do in China. They scan everybody's face, and they could tell when you're outside, where you are, how long you've been there. And if you've done anything wrong, like during the lockdowns, you were outside and you weren't supposed to be, they knew. They knew the minute you stepped on the street. And we don't want that stuff here. We don't want communism and all that, but this is the door. This is the door right here. If we accept this, we'll accept it in different forms. They're just trying to get us to accept it. And yeah, being at the airport's a pain in the ass. I've only had to do it 3 times in the 36 years I've been alive. Now, some people fly in planes all the damn time. I feel bad for those people because I hate being on airplanes. I hate going through airports. I hate everything about it. But either way, I don't think it's worth going through the digital ID stuff. Obviously, they're not asking us. They're asking the UN. They're saying the UN dictates what we have to do for flight travel and all of that. They're the ones that made it, like he said, the English is the official language at airports and whatever. So they must also be the ones who are saying, hey, we need to have digital ID, digital facial recognition, and all of that. I think it's unnecessary. I just don't think that's the way to go. And what happens if you get a black eye, or you're wearing sunglasses, or you get fucking injections in your face and all this stuff like women do? How's your facial recognition gonna work then? What if you're wearing masks and all that goofy shit like the liberals? Like, I don't know. I don't think this is necessary. I think there's other ways they could make traveling on an airplane suck less without having to do facial recognition. I think that this is a kind of a gimmick. They're like, yeah, you hate flying? This'll make it way better. And you're like, okay, yeah. Trade security for your privacy. We do it all the damn time. We did it with 9/11. That's exactly what happened with 9/11. We're like, oh, we're really scared. They're like, okay, we're going to start tracking everybody. We're like, I don't know. And they're like, well, we got to stop the terrorists. And we're like, yeah, stop the terrorists. And now we don't have privacy at all. And we're just continuing to give it up out of convenience. Oh, it'll be more convenient. Yeah, just invade our privacy. That's fine. I don't know. I don't think it's the way to go. Either way, next up, we got Wisconsin teen accused of killing his parents and then planning an assassination attempt against President Trump. This little crazy 17-year-old's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this new airport requirements coming up. Josh 1776, what if someone signs up under your name before you do? Then they'll think you're fake. Yeah, then your facial recognition won't match. Yeah, that's a weird version of fraud there. I don't know how they'll fix that. Hair juicer, I used to fly twice a year. It was a absolute pain in the ass. I share my name with an individual that's considered a terrorist and had to prove that I wasn't, even when I was 12 years old. That's crazy, Hair juicer. I can't believe there's a terrorist out there named Hair juicer. You never know. Sam, this is why I drowned my first round of humans. Yeah, exactly, the Great Flood. Yeah, God said he'd never flood the earth ever again. That's why he gave us rainbows and stuff. Of course, the liberals changed the meaning of rainbows. We're taking it back. But, yeah, I think next it'll be fire. We'll see how it goes. Josh 1776. So all the migrants from India can get a driver's license and a car with no checks, but I have to make a digital ID to fly? Yeah. Well, and I wonder if they're making it so we don't... They're making flying so inconvenient that either you won't fly anymore or you'll comply with the invasion of privacy. And if it's anything like the lockdowns, the majority of people will comply. And that sucks. Stoner Mohammed hair juicer. Yeah, I don't know how it works. I never knew. What's up, Tiger Jaw? Happy freedom to you. Kevin, I'm an identical twin. So how do I get around that? That's a good point, Kevin. They're going to make you guys get face tattoos. It'll be like Thing 1 and Thing 2 from Cat in the Hat. I assume that'll be the mark of the beast right there. When we run in this situation, they're like, you know what? The facial recognition isn't enough. Microchip them. Just do the thing. Appeal to heaven, love 80-degree weather. Enjoy that weather. We got nice weather here, too. I think it's 60 degrees outside. That's good stuff from Michigan. Metal Mouth, yeah, we got that coming up. And happy freedom to you, Metal Mouth. Yeah, President Trump smokes that reporter. I think it's CNN, maybe. We got that on the schedule. Shroomish, when you give security for liberty, you deserve neither. Yeah. Our forefathers would be shaking their head at all the crap that we have to face every day. Ghostly, a dude caught a full tuna just standing on the beach the other day. Is that slang? Or like, you mean like he caught a fish? It sounds like slang. It kind of sounds like sexy talk a little bit. They're dropping this broad off back in the alley. They're like, what are you doing? I caught some tuna. What's that now? A little tuna goes a long way. What's up, Crimps? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Kilgore? Happy freedom to you. So close, Daniels. Stressing. Mm-hmm. Ghostly, probably both. Yeah, only on the weekends. Meta, people get used to this. The chip comes next. Just transfer information and implant. It's easier. Yeah, and that's all it takes. Oh, this will make things faster. This will make things easier. This will make things more convenient. They're like, all right, inject the microchip. I'm like, all right. What's up, Lisa? What's up, Red Wagon? Happy freedom to you. Guess the mark of the beast is next. Yep, sounds like we're all on the same page. Red Wagon, why not implant a chip on people's hands? Sarcastic. Yeah. What's up, Jamie and Deborah? Happy freedom to you. Deeper. COVID vaxes were the mark of the beast light. That's what I've been saying too. I got in trouble last time I explained it in detail because YouTube's community guidelines are soft as shit. But yeah, because of the way that they made the jabby jab, if you put it in your flesh, you can't get that sin out of your body because of what they did to make it. What's up, Energy Woman? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Ski? Happy freedom to you. Bad idea on the digital ID. I agree. Craig, how do you tax them based on usage? I have no idea. They will tax us any way they can. What's up, TPP? Happy freedom to you. Idiocracy is here. Yes, you are right. Wayward. That's why they're adding cameras with monitors every 12 feet at Kroger's down every aisle. Well, that and people shoplifting. I don't know. I think people might have calmed down on the looting. I don't really know because of the way they do the news. They only care what President Trump is doing. It's like the news just follows President Trump around instead of covering crime and stuff like that. It seems like the looting has gone down. We know the left coast reversed a lot of their policies. So now they're able to arrest individuals that were looting. For a while, they could loot up to like $950 and walk away without any problems. They can't do that anymore. We covered that story, and we haven't had any stories of looting since. Doesn't mean it's not happening, but I believe that it's probably not as much as it was. But we'll see. Breeze by you, no chips for me unless they're salty. That's right. Snooks, you can catch tuna offshore here in Florida. The fish. Well, I'm glad you specified, Snooks. I was wondering. It's like, dang, they're just walking the strip? Of course they are. Let's go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, Wisconsin teen accused of killing parents and planning an assassination attempt against President Trump. This little bastard 17-year-old has more problems than anybody I know. His life must really suck for him to just throw it away like that. Look at him. Bundle of joy. He's going to be great in about 20 years of being incarcerated. Either way, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
A Wisconsin teenager is accused of murdering his parents as part of a plot to assassinate President Trump and bring down the government. Prosecutors say 17-year-old Nikita Kasub killed his mother and stepfather inside their Waukesha home back in February, stole his parents' car, and left with the family dog. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Department says the bodies of 51-year-old Donald Mayer and 35-year-old Tatiana Kasub were discovered on March 1st during a welfare check.
The body was appeared to have been deceased for some time, was unable to definitively identify who it was.
Law enforcement arrested Kasub 2 weeks later during a traffic stop in Kansas. Officers say they found a handgun, pried open safe, jewelry, and $14,000 cash inside the car. Investigators also say they found documents on his phone calling for the assassination of the President of the United States in order to foment a political revolution. Officials go on to claim Kasub killed his parents as a part of an effort to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out his plan. According to federal documents filed in court, Kasub shared the views of an extreme neo-Nazi group described as a satanic cult. Kasub faces 9 felony charges, including 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, but prosecutors hinted there could be more charges. The teen has not entered a plea. He's being held on a $1 million bond. His next court appearance is set to be for early May. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
All right, like I said, psychotic 17-year-old. I shouldn't say that. They're not getting him. He's not getting off the case by claiming insanity. He intended to do that stuff. Obviously, it was premeditated and all of that. But either way, I thought it was interesting that they made claims that he's a part of a neo-Nazi Satanist group or something or other. And I was like, what does neo-Nazi and Satanism have to do with each other? So I Googled it because I didn't think those things had a connection. But apparently there's groups that specify in those, like connecting those two groups. It says neo-Nazi ideology and Satanism have intersected in various ways, particularly through the groups like Order of the Nine Angels, or ONA. Also, the Temple OV Blood, or TOB, which is a blend of Nazi ideology and satanic beliefs. It says these groups often promote racial supremacy and anti-Semitism while also incorporating elements of Satanism, including the worship of Satan and the performance of rituals that they believe can manifest demonic entities or their minions. Yeah, this kid is off his rocker, like big time. He was like, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's kill mom and stepdad, and then we'll just go do bad things to elected officials. You know, like super crazy sauce. 17 years old. Like, were his parents not watching him? Or, you know, what was going on? When I was 17, I was not worried about this goofy stuff. I didn't have friends that were white supreme pizzas or anything like that. The world is all messed up. I had friends that smoked weed. I had friends that stole shit. I had friends that went to jail for breaking into places, but nobody was praying to Satan. Nobody was worried about supremacy or anything like that. Just a bunch of naughty-ass 17-year-olds. That was it. This guy, he's on a whole nother level. And again, they're not bringing up the assassination attempt. They talked all about how he was motivated to do it and was getting the resources to carry out the attempt. That's why he killed his parents, to get the 17 grand and whatever else he had. And then when it comes time to give him charges, nope, let's not involve that in the charges. Just like Ryan Ruth, they do not want to charge him with an assassination attempt. They want to give him like attempted capital murder charges or something like that. They want to lessen the charges so it's not an assassination attempt, because then it looks like the court feels bad for President Trump. They should. It's a crime. It's premeditated. He was making an attempt towards the president. That's a big deal. They should act like it's a big deal, but they don't want to because they're too busy screaming Orange Man bad. It's so stupid. So stupid. Next up, preposterous. Trump discusses Maryland man deported to El Salvador. President says he cannot return. This is from earlier today. President Trump obviously meeting with the president of El Salvador. And this is what we were referencing in the chat a couple minutes ago. There's a reporter asked a really stupid question. They're asking about the poor father from Maryland that was accidentally deported to Supermax in El Salvador. When are we bringing him back? Well, they took turns through the cabinet answering this question, and it was pretty good. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this crazy 17-year-old. Hair Juicer, the 764 group ties into the Order of the Nine Angels. Interesting, Hair Juicer. I got to remember to look this up because I know you tagged me in a bunch of information, or you sent me a bunch of information, and I keep getting sidetracked and forgetting that I need to go look it up. I need to make a note for the stabber dude too. There we go. I'll look this stuff up after the live. Jay Spray, if it would have happened to Biden, he'd have been a right-wing extremist. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't call him a Trump supporter. It would have been hard to prove that, though. Trump supporter was trying to make an attempt against President Trump. I'm surprised they didn't try, though. I am surprised at that. Astral Hammer, happy freedom to you. Did you also Google what does liberalism, abortion, anti-whiteism, and Satanism have to do with each other? The Bidens. I'll look it up, Astral Hammer. We'll see. Russell, you know Klaus thinks that you're crazy for talking for hours at your computer. Yeah, Russell, I think he's gotten used to it now, but he's like, yeah, Dad just sits there and screams at the TV all day before giving me my fancy fees, bastard. Russell, his life is over. Yeah, he murdered 2 people and was trying to go after the president. He'll probably, well, he's 17, so he's going to be charged as an adult, I assume. They charged me for everything as an adult when I was 17. It wasn't like I was doing terrible things. He was. So he's obviously getting charged as an adult. He could be doing 20 years for each, and considering he did them both back to back, they could even put a life sentence on the line. Again, it also depends on what other charges he gets. 17 now, he might be 50 or 60 years old when he gets out, if he gets out. He didn't kill any kids. He didn't molest anybody. So, I mean, there's a good chance he could serve his whole sentence without being killed. A chance, because, you know, things happen inside. But, yeah, his life is over. Jay Spray, you're not supposed to listen to those voices. Not today, Satan. That's right. That's right. That shit works, too. I know it sounds goofy, but when you're sitting there, you're driving, and the guy in front of you is acting like an asshole, and you start playing in your head what you're going to do if he does something stupid and this, that, and that's you talking to the devil. You don't realize it because it's all in your head, but that's you talking to the devil. Instead of entertaining those angry, evil, I don't want to say evil, those angry thoughts, right? You want to lash out and be aggressive to somebody because of their ignorance or whatever, and in reality they haven't actually done anything wrong yet. You're just assuming that they're going to. That's talking to the devil. And if you could disrupt those thoughts, you could just be like, not today, Satan. And just saying that out loud will clear your mind of the nonsense. All of a sudden, you don't care about the guy driving in front of you. You don't care about the piece of shit you just drove past. You don't care about the guy standing in line behind you. You just don't care anymore because you've disrupted that conversation in your head. And you'd be surprised at how effective that is. You're having a fight with your spouse and you're driving home from work and you're like, they're going to say this and I'm going to say this and I'm going to slam the fucking door and blah, 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 blah. you're amping yourself up. You're like, not today, Satan. You just let that go. When you get home, they're screaming and you're not. Because you ain't been sitting there stewing over it like they have. Don't talk to the devil. You got those bad, aggressive thoughts in your head, just don't talk to the devil. It really improves your life. I know it sounds so goofy, but it does. It makes a huge difference. I used to be the angriest person I know. I still have never met anybody who gets as mad as I used to get. And just doing little things like that has really helped me recover from being so damn angry. It's hard to enjoy life when you're angry all the time. Someone let the liberals know. 10 man, you ain't wrong. Yeah, he needs to be tuned up. Astro Hammer, satanic cult like the Democrats? Yep, over at Bohemian Grove. Josh 1776, what Reddit feed was he exploring? It's hard to say. Snooks, you give great advice. I try. I'll never tell you guys anything that I don't practice. Josh 1776, was he a Biden supporter? Might get an insanity plea. I think 17 is just too young to give him any kind of credibility as being a supporter of any political entity, but who knows? We'll see how it all rolls out. Done. I've worked hard on trying to stay calm. I've plotted so many interactions. Yeah, I'm the same way. I have a hard time with it, but life's better outside of jail. Metal Mouth, I wouldn't put it past Alex Jones to yell, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Yeah, Alex Jones cracks me up. For the Texan, the biggest thing that pisses a person off that's yelling at you is smiling at them. Absolutely. Kill them with kindness and bury them with a smile. Elder Zoomer, Alex Jones yelling, "Get behind me, Satan. Out of the way." That's right. Ghostly, Rugged Man showed me how far left he is when he went on Timcast. I've been hearing all kinds of stuff about Timcast. I heard he was sticking up for the stabber kid. I can't remember his name. I know he sounds like a basketball player, but I can't remember what his name is now. But the kid that stabbed the other kid at the track meet, I heard Tim was kind of defending that guy. Now, I don't know. I didn't see the shit. I'm just saying that's what I heard. But I've been hearing all kinds of stuff. Maybe they do that just to get more attention. It seems to be the way. Anytime Crowder or Timcast or any of these people, they do something kind of controversial, they get a bunch of attention. Just like Kanye West on X. He's posting swastikas. Everyone's like, oh, he sucks. Yeah, well, look at how much attention he's getting for it. So I don't know. I don't know. For the Texan, they're not going to charge Carmelo as an adult because he's 17. That's crazy. That is crazy. He stabbed somebody. He's not going to get charged as an adult. I got in a fist fight with somebody who asked for it, and I immediately was charged as an adult. I was only 17 for like 13 days when I went to jail. I had only been eligible for jail 13 days and signed right up for it like an idiot. Shroomish, I have it pulled up. I haven't got a chance to check out Rugged Man yet. I got a list of things I got to do. Life's been kind of crazy lately, and I'm trying to get through it, but I got it on the list. I will check it out. I heard Leonard Skinner earlier today. The Smell of Fear or something like that. Let me see if I can find it really quick. One of these tabs. No, I can't even find it right this second. Earlier today, though, I heard Leonard Skinner. I was pretty surprised. I've actually heard more of those songs than I thought. But yeah, I'll get through the list. Bill Clay, That Smell. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I heard that earlier today. I didn't realize that was Leonard Skinner. Stoner, I like telling people Jesus and I love you. I know, it's so crazy how people get bent out of shape about that. Kilgore, yeah, I think it's Carmelo Anthony, but it's spelled different than the basketball player. Yeah, Metal Mouth. Done. Tim Pool tried to make it out like he was doing like the guy, the Carmelo Anthony was in self-defense. Yeah. I wonder if he did that for controversial reasons, just to get attention. I could sit here and shit my pants right in front of you guys and not get any more attention. I swear, we are up against a glass ceiling, and I don't know what it is, but we have a lot of trouble growing. We maintain. We do not gain new hooligans, and I don't know why that is. I really think that we got somebody stopping us, because you guys hit that like button. I see you guys sharing the live, and that helps so much. But for some reason, we struggle with growth. And I'm like, there's no way it's not the controversy. I say terrible things every day, and I don't make it in the news. Like, I see Tim Kaz and all them people, they're like, oh, he said this really controversial thing, and he'll say shit. And I'm like, I call people kid fuckers on my live. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's, I don't know. So, I don't know. Controversy, I think, is a kind of hit or miss thing. Oh, hair juicer, it's not angels, it's angles. Thank you for letting me know. I would have been saying that wrong for the rest of my life. Hey, thank you for being here, Energy Woman. Don't work too hard out there. Meta, the CEO of Raytheon, has a chip in one of his ass cheeks. Don't try to misplace him because his security will find him. That's pretty clever. It's pretty clever. He should have got it right in the balloon knot, you know, because ain't nobody going to dig it out of there. They might. I don't know. God only knows, but either way. What's up, Master Voltaire? Happy freedom. What if somebody stuck a magnet to it? What if you got a microchip in your butt cheek because you're trying to do some slick security stuff? You get picked up by terrorists. You're like, oh man, thank God my security's going to pick me up. They're not going to let me die. I pay them all their money, blah, blah, blah. And then the terrorist just sticks a magnet right to your ass cheek, and you're like, ah, they got me. they got me. What's up, Proud Patriot Girly? Happy freedom to you. Craig, wait till you're undigitized and made a non-person. Yeah, I worry about that stuff. Man, I watch but won't smell. That's all right. What's up, Itchy? Happy freedom. What's up, Extra Bill? Happy freedom to you. Dim Tool. There was a lot of people saying that in the chat when I first started live streaming. I had no idea what that meant. I obviously know now. Now I know. Wayward, I found you and Tim Pool at the same night. That's awesome. Those kids are getting rowdy outside. It's not my yard, but I want to yell at the kids, tell them to get off of it. Kilgore, maybe you need to wear a beanie. Maybe. I get a lot of people come in talking about how I'm balding every damn day. It's crazy that more people care about me balding, and I don't care at all. It's my head. I can't believe so many people care about it. I'm going to write, like, get a tattoo that says hit the like button or something like that. I think this is how we're going to beat the glass ceiling here. Shroomish, yeah, Dim Tool. That's, I don't know. You guys are mean. You guys are mean. We're going to get into this next video here. Like I said, preposterous. Trump discusses Maryland man deported to El Salvador. President says he cannot return. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick that you need to go check out the only hooligan shop for cool custom hooligan items. Now, this shop was created by Alistair, and everything in it is created by Alistair. This is our way of getting away from third-party systems like print on demand and stuff like that. This way we have control over pricing, quality, shipping times, and things like that. We'll be adding more items to the Only Hooligan shop pretty soon, but definitely go check it out. It helps me, it helps Alistair, and it definitely keeps the live running, so definitely go check out the Only Hooligan shop. Let's go ahead and get into this really quick. Like I said, this is from earlier today. We were talking about it a little bit ago in the chat. President Trump obviously meeting with the president of El Salvador. He looks like a pretty slick guy. They seem to get along with each other pretty well, just seeing the body language and the way they communicate between each other. I think that they kind of see eye to eye. But the reporter's going to ask a really stupid question. They're going to take turns firing back. Go ahead and hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Do you plan to ask President Bukele to help return the man who your administration says was mistakenly deported? The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
Well, let me ask Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country. And in 2019, two courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs, if they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
So will you return him, President
And you are doing a great job. Thank you.
Stephen
Miller, wait a minute. Can you just also respond to that question? Because, it's asked by CNN, and they always ask it with a slant. Because they're totally slanted because they don't know what's happening. That's why nobody's watching them. But would you answer that question also, please?
Yes, gladly. So, as Pam mentioned, there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. So, with respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So, it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would even tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a starting point. As two immigration courts found that he was a member of MS-13. When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible under federal law, which I'm sure you know, you're very familiar with the INA, that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States. So he had a deportation order that was valid, which meant that under our law, he's not even allowed to be present in the United States and had to be returned because of the foreign terrorist designation. This issue was then, by a district court judge, completely inverted, and a district court judge tried to tell the administration that they had to kidnap a citizen of El Salvador and fly him back here. That issue was raised to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful, and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for help to get him back?
And what was the ruling in the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, it was a 9-0.
In our favor?
In our favor, against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual, at El Salvador's sole discretion, was sent back to our country, that we could deport him a second time. No version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
I asked President Bukele, can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to be suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right? How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him to the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
So you can release him inside El Salvador?
Yeah, but I'm not releasing, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. We just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
Well, they'd love to have a criminal, released into our country.
There's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
They're sick. These are sick people. Marco, do you have something to say about
Yeah, Stephen outlined it. I don't understand what the confusion is. This individual is a citizen of El Salvador. He was illegally in the United States and was returned to his country. That's where you deport people, back to their country of origin. Except for Venezuela, that wasn't refusing to take people back, or places like that. I can tell you this, Mr. President. No, the foreign policy of the United States is conducted by the President of the United States, not by a court. And no court in the United States has a right to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. It's that simple. End of story.
And that's what the Supreme Court held, by the way, to Marco's point. The Supreme Court said exactly what Marco said. that no court has the authority to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. We won a case 9-0, and people like CNN are portraying it as a loss, as usual, because they want foreign terrorists in the country who kidnap women and children. But President Trump, his policy is foreign terrorists that are here illegally get expelled from the country, which, by the way, is a 90-10 issue.
Well, Mr. President, you said that if the Supreme Court said someone needed to be returned, that you would abide by that. You said that on Air Force One just a few days ago, and they said that it must be facilitated.
Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country? Why can't you just say that?
Well, it's illegal.
Why do you go over and over? And that's why nobody watches you anymore. You know, you have no credibility. Please go ahead.
President Trump, thank you so much. How many illegal criminals are you planning on exporting to El Salvador? And President Bukele, how many are you willing to take from the U.S.?
As many as possible. And I just asked the president, you know, it's this massive complex that he built, jail complex. I said, can you build some more of them, please? As many as we can get out of our country that were allowed in here by incompetent Joe Biden through open borders. Open borders. You probably hear open borders and you can't even understand it because nobody can understand. Nobody smart or with common sense can understand it. So we have millions of people that should not be in this country that are dangerous. Not just people, because we have people, but we have millions of people that are murderers, drug dealers. They've been allowed to come into our country by other countries that were very smart. When they
All right, so President Trump there hanging out with the president from El Salvador. I think his name is Bukele or something like that. President Bukele, maybe? I'm not sure exactly how to say his name. That's the first time I've seen that guy. But like I said, the chemistry between President Trump and the president of El Salvador, they seem like they kind of see eye to eye. They got an understanding of how things are going to work. And of course, leave it to CNN to say something stupid because as we've been covering for weeks at this point, they keep spinning this story saying, oh, it's a poor father from Maryland, I believe it is, yeah. That was accidentally shipped out to El Salvador, and now they're in Supermax, and it was a mistake, and nobody's doing anything about it. No. He's an MS-13 gang member. And the last video that we covered on this situation, they were talking about how they infiltrate our country. They come in, they look like painters or manual labor workers, right? They could be gardeners. They could be anybody. Just try to blend in and look like a regular person. And that's what they do for their day job. But the rest of the time, they're making connections and they're trying to figure out how to deal traffic or deal drugs, human trafficking, murders, or right, organized crime is what they're doing. And so, yeah, you might be duped, and you might think your neighbor was accidentally sent to Supermax. But no, that's not the case. He's actually MS-13. He's a terrible person, and he deserves to be there. They keep saying this over and over again. The video before last, it was Pam Bondi, black and white, just saying it very clearly. This is not there was some paperwork issue that I guess happened, but him being a criminal was not a mistake. He is a criminal, and he is where he should be. Now, even though they all took turns, they had the whole cabinet there taking turns on this reporter. It was a mess. Just not getting it. Just, well, are you going to send him back? What do you mean? He can't even be in the country. El Salvador could release him, but they can't bring him into the country. It's ruled he can't be here. Now, even if El Salvador released him, he still can't be here. And we'll leave it to their president to be like, what do you want me to do, smuggle him into the country? He can't be here. I could release him, but then he's got to stay in my country. I don't want terrorists to be in my country. He's staying in Supermax. CNN had to cry real hard after that because there was nothing else. President Trump just smoked her and left it at that, called on somebody else. It seems pretty simple here, unless you're a stupid liberal. Next up, arson suspect allegedly planned to beat Pennsylvania governor with a hammer. Should have went to Nancy Pelosi's house. They like that stuff over there. Now, this individual sent a Molotov cocktail into the mansion window and burned this room down. Lots of damage. I mean, the whole room needs to be redone. It's probably more than just the one room. But this guy's off his rocker. He's trying to do bad things to the governor of Pennsylvania. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this reporter getting smoked earlier today in the Oval Office. Breeze by you, expecting those CNN reporters to have a brain is expecting too much. You're not wrong. Josh 1776, why does governors have mansions? That's a great question, Josh 1776. Russell, CNN, Communist News Network. Absolutely. Hair juicer, dress them down like mouthy children. That was great. I agree. It was fantastic. Sam. It's almost that time of year again. Yep. Look at the child screaming. Trauma. It'll never recover. Happy Freedom, Patriot Dad, and thank you so much for the $5 donation over on Rumble. I really appreciate you, Patriot Dad. Thank you so much for the support. This is Happy Freedom, Hooligans. Happy Freedom to you, Patriot Dad. Metal Mile, Trende Aragua, and MS-13 picked the wrong president to mess with. You are not wrong. Crimps, but Bukele sent all those criminals here in the first place. Yeah. They all did. All those countries did, sent all their crazies and criminals and all of that stuff right here where we had the door wide open. I think it's kind of the name of the game, though. Instead of President Trump holding a grudge, instead he made a deal. So, yeah, I'm not saying that Bukele's a good guy. I just can tell by the body language and the way they kind of nod at each other and stuff that their relationship doesn't seem or feel forced. It seems like they have a pretty good understanding. They're on the same page as each other. They kind of wheel and deal the same. It just kind of seemed, I don't know, like they see eye to eye just by their body language. That's just what I'm getting off of seeing them interact with each other. Oh, Ghostly, you just heard about the story we're going to cover? Yeah, this guy's some lunatic. Ghostly, where's the Epstein files? Absolutely. It's a great question. For the Texan, Supermax has got those gang members crying and drooling on themselves. Yeah, what I think is really crazy is the awareness that anytime they show those inmates in Supermax, they admit that they are broken. They're not like jail gang members. They're not like prison gang members like we see around here where they're banging and they're, making money and still committing crime and making connections and stuff. In Supermax, they are broken and they admit it. They're like, there's no way of getting out of here. I'll never get out. It's not worth yelling at COs or fighting other people or trying to run. There's nowhere to go. You might as well just comply. They barely even get to stand up straight, let alone have a chance to escape that place. And it's crazy because usually when you interact with ignorant people, especially like people that think they're tough, you can't tell them shit. You can't tell them shit. They do not listen. They think that they know better. You could have them sitting there with their hand on a table. You got a butcher blade in your hand and you're like, answer the question, I'm cutting your fingers off. And they will mock you. And then you'll cut their fingers off and they'll still mock you. They are such a pain in the ass. And that's how tough, ignorant people are. They get to Supermax and all of a sudden they're singing a new tune. Whatever they're doing in Supermax, that shit is working. It is working. What's up, Jack? Happy Freedom. The Scam Bondi files. Yeah. I want to like Pam Bondi, but the whole Epstein crap and the publicity stunt that they pulled, just, I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. That's all I can say. Russell, it's not a holiday, is it? Easter is at some point. I don't know. I don't have my schedule in front of me. Easter's coming up. I know that. Snooks, El Salvador used to be a really bad place. Rounded up a lot of innocent citizens and killed them. Hairstylist is from there. She escaped in time. That's crazy, Snooks. I don't know anything about El Salvador. For the good Texan, they broke the fuck out of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a way to delete themselves. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, you can see it when they talk. They have come to terms with the fact that they will never get out of there. I don't know how they made them understand, but they did. It's crazy. It makes you kind of have hope that there's a way to deliberalize people. Like there must be a way. If you could take the banging out of gang members, there's got to be a way to remove the liberalism. Meta. Oh, we'll be here when you're ready to do the thing, Meta. Don't you worry. Not the assault hammer again. Yeah, I don't know why the hammer's the the weapon of choice here, but that's how it goes. What's up, Southern Eagleman? Happy freedom to you. Itchy, she is a he. The CNN reporter was a man. I thought it was a woman. What's up, Slenderella? Happy freedom to you. Cinderella, I want Trump to say, shut up, Bruce. See, I thought it was that woman. What is it, Rachel Madcow or whatever? She's a CNN reporter. She's a mouthy individual that's always in the press room giving Caroline Leavitt the runaround, and Caroline Leavitt don't play with her. She gives her a question. She sounds like a fucking idiot. Caroline Leavitt's like, okay, I'm having enough of you. We're going over here now. I think it's Rachel Madcow or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's who I'm thinking, but I thought that's who was in the Oval Office. Apparently I'm wrong. Wayward, it looks like an eagle on your forehead. You have a McDonald's sign. I know, but I ain't sponsoring McDonald's. We need to put a hooligan logo over here. We'll get it figured out. Caitlin Collins, that's who I'm talking about. Who's Rachel Madcow? Oh, that's a different liberal woman. That's one of those. I don't think she's from The View, but she's one of those people. You're right. Thank you for getting me up to date there, Cinderella. Caitlin Collins, yeah. She's kind of pretty, but she's kind of manly. She's got a strong jawline. I think she had a wiener growing up. Russell, you get Juneteenth off? Lucky you. Josh 1776, can we watch the Pelosi hammer video? I always get a good laugh out of the cop's reaction and speed. Oh, I'm sure we got it around here somewhere, Josh 1776. We'll have to post it. For the Texan, she had her own show, but it got canceled. Good. She deserves it. She got the mad cow disease. Either way, let's get into this next one. Like I said, arson suspect allegedly planned to beat the Pennsylvania governor with a hammer. I don't know why. I don't think anybody knows why. Just cause it was a Wednesday? No, I don't know. Either way, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society. And I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other, directed at one particular party or another, or one particular person or another. It is not okay.
Shocking developments out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania this morning. An accused arsonist targeting the official residence of Governor Josh Shapiro while the governor and his family were inside sleeping. Images show the damage from a Molotov cocktail thrown into several rooms of the home. The attack forcing the governor, his wife, and their 4 children and a visiting guest to flee for their lives. Governor Shapiro hosting Passover in one of those rooms Saturday that was later set on fire. Court documents say the suspect, 38-year-old Cody Balmer, scaled a fence in the middle of the night and planned to beat Governor Shapiro with a hammer if he found him. Balmer then turning himself into police. He faces charges for attempted murder, aggravated arson, and terrorism, and he'll be arraigned later today. News Nation's Rich McHugh joining us now with the latest. What a scary series of events. What more do we know about the details and what's happening at the mansion now?
Hi, good morning, Marnie. Well, if you can see behind me, this is the governor's mansion. It's 28,000 square feet. It doesn't really look like there's much damage, but the damage is actually extensive, and we'll show you some pictures in a second. Cody Balmer, 38-year-old Cody Balmer, he's being arraigned later today. He's in Dauphin County Prison. We have this photo from an auto repair shop that he worked with, and his mugshot just released. Apparently, he confessed, and when asked what he planned to do to the governor, he said he was going to beat him with a hammer. He's accused of breaking into the governor's home at 2 a.m., throwing Molotov cocktails and starting that fire. Fortunately, Governor Shapiro and his family, none of them were injured. Hours after the governor posted this photo from the same room celebrating Passover, he described the arson as a targeted attack, though this guy's motive remains unclear.
if he was trying to terrorize our family, our friends, the Jewish community who joined us for a Passover Seder in that room last night, hear me on this. We celebrated our faith last night proudly, and in a few hours we will celebrate our second Seder of Passover again proudly. No one will deter me or my family or any Pennsylvanian from celebrating their faith openly and proudly.
Now, in the photos from inside, you can see remnants of the Passover dinner the governor hosted. And many are now asking, how is this possible that this even happened with all the security detail around? Here is Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, the state police.
So this individual came over a fence and right behind where all of you are standing right now. He actively evaded troopers who were here to secure the residence, even while they were searching for him on the property. While they were searching is when he attacked at the residence, broke in, and set the fires.
Balmer was inside the governor's residence for less than 1 minute. They said he was methodical, had a clear plan, a couple Molotov cocktails. They charged the 38-year-old suspect with attempted murder, aggravated arson, burglary, reckless endangerment, terrorism, aggravated assault, loitering, and prowling at nighttime. Balmer has previous run-ins with the law, a 2023 charge for assault. He was due in court on that issue in a matter of days, 2016 forgery and theft by deception charges. Now, we're told that authorities had this manhunt for him yesterday, but he got a call from this person's girlfriend. He actually turned himself in to authorities and described the incident in detail. Now he's awaiting arraignment sometime today at Dauphin County Prison.
All right. We'll be following that throughout the day. Just glad everyone's okay. Rich, thank you for the update. Thank you for watching.
All right. Like I said, this lunatic goes and throws a Molotov cocktail into this mansion, and then he was ready to beat the governor with a hammer. They don't really know why it happened. Governor thinks it's related to religion. I think the guy voted for Harris. I don't know. He just looks like that kind of guy. Why would you do that? Like, why do that? Just for no reason? He's going to end up getting the book thrown at him, because right now they're trying to do like anti-Semitism crackdown and all of that. If they can't figure out a reason for this guy's motive and they try to make it a religious thing, he's gonna be screwed. He's gonna be screwed either way. What I think is really interesting is how they talk about security. They're like, oh, he evaded security while they were having the dinner or whatever, and that's when he attacked the house. And then they still couldn't find him after he had thrown the Molotov cocktail. Like, what was security doing? They were smoking a bowl out back, or like what were they doing? I mean, I understand it's a mansion, but you don't notice the kind of scruffy-looking guy with Molotov cocktails with terroristic decisions being made? Like, I don't know. What was security doing? I think he should probably fire those guys. Get some new security. Next up, we got lefties losing it. Trump pokes fun at Biden and introduces granddaughter to the fake news. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through, see what you hooligans think about this crazy person that tried to attack the Pennsylvania governor. Also, I did find 2 funny videos of the day while we were live, because I can multitask like that most days. First one's titled, You Got Me, and our official funny video of the day is titled, Can't Keep a Hooligan Down. But like I said, we got lefties losing it coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this crazy hammer guy going after the Pennsylvania governor. Breeze by You seems like some lame-ass security. I agree. Like, I don't understand what they were doing. Get some. Look at this. This is Klaus Daniels on the weekends. Klaus intensifies. Klaus Daniels, who's taking a bath? You guys didn't even have to subscribe to his Only Cats or anything. Look at that. You just get to watch him bathe right on the live for free. Crazy. Breeze by You, I thought we had no motive. Yeah, well, might as well make it about religion. That's what they decided to do with it. Josh 1776, of course, he turns it into a thing about religion. I think we're all watching the same thing here. Thank you so much, Patriot Dad, for that $1 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Patriot Dad. Thank you. Says, my brother died in Statesville Prison in Illinois, 8 years of 10. Don't be stupid. Sorry to hear that, Patriot Dad. It's good advice, though. Don't be stupid out there. Thank you again, Patriot Dad, for that $1 donation on Rumble. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Says, that dude is self-proclaimed socialist. Figures. Yep. Sounds just like a lefty. Jack, the girlfriend is probably a nanny goat. It's got to be. Told Kara dude had a girlfriend. She must be blind. You guys are both wrong. She's actually a dude in a dress. Makes sense when you say it like that. Told Kara first they create a political divide. Now they're going for a religious one. Yep. They try it every now and then. Where like they were considering Catholic people terrorists and stuff. They were investigating people that were Catholic. And before that, they were investigating people that were parents. If you're a parent and you attend school board meetings, you could potentially be a terrorist. I remember one year it was near Christmas. And they said if you practice Christmas, Hanukkah, or acknowledge the 9/11 day, that there's a good chance that you could be a terrorist and potentially a white supreme pizza. The FBI had put that out of the Pentagon or something. I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. They love us. Happy freedom to you, AR-16. I've been trying to say that for like an hour, and I keep losing track of my thoughts here. Happy freedom to you. Jack, they encourage this lunatic. Shut up, commie. Yeah, they do. They get these people all amped up and turn them into extremists, and then they act all shocked when these extremists go out there and attack somebody. Enter user, how many files and devices were burnt up? That's a good question. Maybe it was done intentionally. Roy, happy freedom to you. I'm thinking he was a paid actor that went bad. Definitely could be. Done, gotta be careful with those Easter worshippers. Yeah, the Ishtar. Ghostly, nah, the leftists in Pennsylvania are nuts. They burned down Philly and it was okay, but when they burned the governor's house, it's not okay? I guess. That's the standard they're putting out there. Meta, something ain't right with this story. Well, that's like enter users saying how many devices and files were damaged in the arson. Because maybe it was done strategically. Maybe there was evidence of something. Maybe there was some open cases or something that they wanted to go away. It's hard to say. Maybe we'll have a follow-up on this. I don't know if we'll get the actual truth, but we'll see if we get a follow-up. Chaplin, Rachel Mad Cow grazes on MSNBC. Yeah. Guess who? Damn, it's an Amish guy on the fentanyl. I mean, maybe. Harley Davidson, nah, he ain't Amish. Nah, he was a mechanic, so I don't think Amish work on cars. You never know. It's a Blue Crow. Happy freedom. It's a ball. Happy freedom to you. Craig, you're balding? I mean, I guess that's what they call it. I call it growing up, but yeah. The trolls. They want to talk about my hair and talk about my teeth, but they don't never talk about what we're talking about. Makes no sense. What's up, Trevor? Happy freedom to you. Man, I heard Amish do the turbo. Is that how it goes? This must be why it works good. Josh 1776, maybe it was a pager he forgot he was given. I forgot about the pagers for a second there. Sage Pup, I think the guy was off his meds and started having a creepy god complex. I mean, maybe. That's the thing, we should have a follow-up story because they haven't even told us a motive. But they've spun it into a religious thing, so maybe they'll leave it at that. Either way, we'll see. Like I said, next up we got Lefties Losing It. It's titled Trump Pokes Fun at Biden and Introduces Granddaughter to Fake News. Now, of course, this is going to be a plethora of videos of lefties losing their marbles. And this will be the last little bit of the news, and then we'll be getting into the fun stuff for the day. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
It's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start with some morally repugnant depravity on CNN. Here they interview Taylor Lorenz, a far-left hack journalist who's been employed by many of your favourite lefty outlets, from the Washington Post to the New York Times to Daily Beast. Listen here as Taylor waxes lyrical about cold-blooded murdering scumbag Luigi Mangione. She can't understand why anyone would be shocked that sickos like her are standing a murderer. This is sick. Sociopathic.
Hilarious to see these millionaire media pundits on TV clutching their pearls about someone standing a murderer when this is the United States of America, as if we don't lionize criminals. You're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like, here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
She's talking there about a cowardly killer who shot father of two, Brian Thompson, in the back of the head. But because Brian was the CEO of United Healthcare, apparently that makes his murder okay, or even joyful, as Taylor once claimed. Now, a sane journalist on a sane network might challenge what we just heard, but not CNN, not this clown from CNN. Listen here as he likens admiring and murdering lowlife to being a Trump supporter, and even notes that Taylor would never want to be called a Trump supporter. That would be beyond the pale.
I'm sure you wouldn't like to be compared to a Trump supporter, but some of how people cannot understand why people have sympathies for Mangione strikes me as the same as a lot of media not understanding why people support Trump.
I totally agree.
I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again. You don't hate the leftist media enough. You think you do, but you don't. Sticking with CNN, they've been part of a media meltdown over the Trump administration's tariff policy, and many a Democrat has been on with softball interviews where they scaremonger about inflation without any pushback from the host. Here's Hakeem Jeffries.
Trump tariffs are going to raise costs on everyday Americans in an environment where there's already a high cost of living. Trump promised that he would lower costs, in fact, on day one, but what we've seen under his reckless leadership is that costs aren't going down in America. They're going up. Inflation is going up.
Inflation is going up, is it? The Democrats were even pushing a new term, Trumpflation. Here is Jeff Merkley.
So last Wednesday, it was not Liberation Day. It was Trumpflation Day. The American consumer is going to see much higher prices.
Trumpflation, you say? Literally minutes later, this news broke.
Breaking moments ago, brand new numbers showing inflation fell last month. Much better than expected.
Inflation fell. Well, how about that, folks? You know, the only reason anyone not stuck at an airport watches CNN these days is to see Scott Jennings. Here he is with CNN host Abby Phillips.
7 million means that they're not just going after criminals.
Well, they're going after people who are in the country illegally, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying the criminals, this is a much bigger universe.
Doesn't that make you a criminal?
No, it doesn't.
To come across the border illegally?
Coming into the country illegally is a civil offense. It's not a criminal offense.
Okay, if you come into the country illegally, here's the message. We're going to find you and send you back.
Oh, Abby, coming across the border illegally is a criminal offense. Let's have a look at Scott Jennings now, effortlessly toying with Ana Navarro. Talk about an intellectual mismatch.
Honestly, if it was Kamala Harris behaving this way, they'd call her hormonal and hysterical, right? Look.
Well, you'd have to get elected to be.
But, well, yes, and if she had been elected and if Hillary Clinton had been elected, if any woman had been elected and been acting this way, they'd say it was menopause.
She would have never stood up to China, so I think this is a mood issue, right?
No.
And let's check in with one of Anna's co-hosts on The View. Here's Whoopi Goldberg. She seems to think that the Trump administration, you know, the one that won in a landslide, winning every swing state, winning the popular vote, winning the Electoral College 312 to 226, apparently, according to Whoopi, they only represent a very narrow band of people.
all you countries who watch us, this is not our wish.
No, it's not.
This is not what the American people want. We don't like it. We don't like how it's being, we don't like how this is being done. That's why you will hear us kvetching about this as long as we are able, because no one we're talking to understands what's going on. And therefore, when they say America, they're not talking about us. They are talking about that very narrow band of America that they think they represent.
Back to CNN. This is how you handle an interview with CNN, especially if they start quoting another fake news outlet like the Washington Post. Let's hear from Senior Director for Counterterrorism, Dr. Sebastian Gorka.
Last month, the Washington Post reported that the freeze on U.S. foreign assistance in Africa has, quote, threatened programs intended to counter al-Shabaab bomb makers. Are those cuts still in place? Are you concerned about them at all?
Is that the same Washington Post that propagated the Russia collusion hoax for the last 8 years?
Well, regardless of the Russia...
No, not regardless. You're quoting the Washington Post to me, which is as effective as posting for me or quoting to me any other pillar of the fake news industrial complex. I really couldn't care less what the Washington Post or the New York Times says, especially when it's anonymous government officials. If it's true, put your name to it. If it's not, shut up.
There you go. And here is how Donald Trump handled the media overnight. First, he reminded them that his predecessor never did impromptu press conferences.
You people requested. I'm always available, unlike Biden. Think Biden would do an interview at 2 in the morning? He would do one at 9 in the morning.
And he then got his granddaughter, Kai, involved, first introducing her to the members of the fake news media. I've got to say, he really is the funniest president we've ever had.
Kai, come on over here. Do you know the fake news? This is the fake news.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you guys? Good morning.
Good morning. We're just doing a little news conference. You want to partake?
I mean, I'll add some stuff.
She's a great athlete, actually, great golfer.
Yeah.
And great student, actually. So go ahead. Any other questions?
On Monday, you're having a meeting with the president of El Salvador.
Now, Donald Trump was at the UFC over the weekend and he walked out to a thunderous response from the Miami crowd, flanked by two of his... Trump not only got a rock star entrance, but he had sporting stars flocking to shake his hand, including UFC champ Dominic Reyes, moments after his big win.
See, I was referencing this at the beginning of the live. It becomes a distraction when the president shows up.
The great Shaquille O'Neal made his way through the crowd to greet the president.
All right. Now, something I'm kind of surprised that they didn't mention, and I actually forgot to mention it earlier, is when President Trump came to the UFC situation over the weekend, RFK Jr. was there. Hold on a second. RFK Jr. was there. And he shook hands with him, but I guess he kind of ignored his wife. And I didn't really notice it, and I came across a video that brought it up. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Because it was pretty brief here. Let me see if I can find it. So I'm pretty sure they show it in this. Oh, they actually don't show it in this clip. Oh, yeah, they do. Right here. Now, I don't know who RFK Jr.'s wife is. I don't know. People seem to know who she is. She must be somebody. But President Trump kind of ignores her. Now, I don't know if this is intentionally, but people have been pointing this out. So we'll just play this really quick. We don't need audio or whatever. He's getting ready to shake hands with RFK. Junior next to him, I guess, is his wife, and she seems kind of excited to shake hands with the president, and he just kind of... And so some people think that that was intentional. He's surrounded by people that all want to shake his hands. I'm sure it's hard to get everybody who wants to be, shaking hands with you on TV. So I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's something that people have been bringing up. Either way, that was the last little bit of the news. Like I was telling you guys, we're going to get into the fun stuff. We don't have an advent calendar right this second, but we will, I think, tomorrow. So we'll be getting back into opening doors from advent calendars because that's a nice fun thing that we've added to the live. But we will be getting into the funny videos of the day. First one's titled, You Got Me. And our official funny video of the day is titled, Can't Keep a Hooligan Down. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about lefties losing it. Guess she grabbed his boob. See, I saw it too. I saw it. She was hoping that he'd get her back and grab the kitty, but nope. Yeah, grab her by the kitty. Breeze by you, RFK Jr.'s wife is from Hollyweird. Interesting. Jesus loves us, guess yeah. I'm not gonna read all that stuff out loud. She's a nice young lady. Breeze by you, Whoopi can go fuck herself. That's pretty much what everybody is saying. Josh 1776. Kai is 17. Oh, I see. Enter user MAGA Shaq. Yeah. I doubt he'll get any hate. Everybody loves Shaq. Like, everybody does. He goes by DJ Diesel right now. He plays at music festivals as a EDM DJ. I think he was at Electric Forest last year. I'm not sure who's going to be at Electric Forest this year. It should be coming up in a couple weeks, actually. I wish I could go, but it's crazy expensive. It was like $700 to be there for the whole weekend. It's a lot of fun, but $700, you know. Still got my Subaru howling down the street. Probably don't need to go to Electric Forest, but definitely could use some fun this summer. I've never had a vacation. I keep thinking about it. We'll see how it goes. Bill Shaq is in almost every commercial. Yeah. He might be peaking in his career. Like with Ryan Reynolds. We saw that, right? He was like in Deadpool. He was in all kinds of other movies. Then all of a sudden he was in all the commercials. I think he owns Mint Mobile or something like that. So he's in all of those commercials. And he was just everywhere. And now you don't really see him that much. And it seems like they do that with a lot of actors and famous people and stuff. And maybe Shaq's just at that point where he's everywhere, and then eventually we're not going to see him very much. But like I said, he's doing a lot of DJ stuff as DJ Diesel, and he's excelling at that as well, which is really interesting. 10-man, she's 17 and get you 30. That's right. She's a kid. Josh 1776, Shaq's foreign ads used to be the best, and Hulk Hogan's too. I'll have to look that up. I've never seen foreign ads with our celebrities in it. Ghostly, RFK ran as a Democrat against Trump and then dropped out. Trump doesn't forget. Yeah, I kind of thought that RFK Jr. would be a little bit more active than he is. He's trying to get the fluoride out of the water, which is good, but he doesn't have the power to do it. He can only suggest it, and he can stop CDC and NIH and stuff from recommending it being added into the water, but he can't actually stop any communities from adding it into the water, which really sucks. It's kind of like, what's the point of his job position if he can't prevent cities from putting chemicals in our drinking water that is hurting all of us? It makes it seem like his job is kind of watered down, actually. But either way, we got 4 years ahead of us, so hoping for the best. Enter user Shaq is getting death threats. Man, that sucks. Shaq seems cool with everybody. He seems like a really cool guy. I've never heard of him being at Epstein Island or anything. It sucks that he would get death threats for shaking up with the president. Jack Super Magalicious. Mm-hmm. Ghostly, Trump's loved at the UFC. Absolutely. Jack, rub some tariffs on it. Yeah, that does the trick. Ghostly, Shaq's always been based. If you listen to him over the years, yeah. He's always making sense. Meta, we had a 5.2 earthquake this morning around San Diego area. Rock and roll. Well, I'm glad you're safe. Never been in an earthquake. I've always wondered what that would be like. It's probably scary. Harley Davidson, did you hear, let's see, speaking of Amish, did you hear about the Amish kids that were killed when a teen crashed into them? No, I haven't heard about that. Did he do it intentionally? Did they do it intentionally? I guess I don't know if it's a boy. Men commit more crimes than girls. That's what they say. That's what they say. Craig, Shaq's getting hate on X big time. I'll have to look that stuff up. I don't know. I thought for some reason he would be immune to that. I guess not. What's up, Scott Johnson? Happy freedom to you. Guess it wasn't really an earthquake. The news is reporting that Whoopi tripped. I see. That makes sense there. It's a Patriot Roy. Happy freedom to you. She's actually a good actress and been in some good and funny movies and shows, but she didn't want RFK to run as VP with Trump because Hollywood would have screwed her out of work. Oh, I see. It kind of reminds me of like Bill Burr when he was there with his wife, and his wife was supposedly flipping off the camera, but it really looked like she was flipping Trump off, and a lot of people forgot that happened. But Bill Burr is like, it's kind of like Will Smith being controlled by his wife. Scott Johnson, another video shows him circle back to her. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because everybody's clipping that video right there, and they're saying, oh, Trump's ignoring her and blah, blah, blah. Cinderella, he went back over to say hello. He was distracted. See, and that's what I figured. You're in a stadium full of people that all want to say hello to you. It's probably easy to, miss a person or two. What's up, Luke? Happy freedom to you. What's up, TYR? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Magic Moon? What's up, Wet Blanket? Appreciate you hooligans being here. Craig, Trump hates Cheryl and Cheryl hates Trump. Very nice. I'm glad the feelings are mutual. Wayward Shaq has legendary status. Absolutely. That's the crazy thing is like Michael Jordan, he's obviously the greatest basketball player of all time, but he acts like an asshole. And he has for decades, forever. And some people are like, well, yeah, he's the greatest. He gets to act like an asshole. Well, what about Shaq? Shaq's pretty fucking cool. He doesn't act like an asshole. He doesn't act like an asshole at all. And so, I don't know. And Michael Jordan's kind of racist, too, I guess. He doesn't take pictures with dudes. He doesn't like white people. Like, there's, like, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, wow, really? Over the years, I've heard terrible things about Michael Jordan. It made me not like him. I used to think he was awesome. Never heard those things about Muhammad Ali. I've met Muhammad Ali, like, 3 times before he died. Never heard terrible things coming out of him. But Michael Jordan, heard lots of bad things coming out of him. Shaq, never heard anything bad coming out of him. So I'm really surprised that people are kind of, roasting him on the internet because he was shaking hands with Trump. Hair juicer, earthquakes are scary as fuck. I was in the 94 Northridge quake. Shit was all fucked up. Yeah, hair juicer. When I see it on TV, it always seems like it'd be surprising, but not scary. But I mean, obviously it would be scary. You don't know if your house is going to cave in or if something's going to fall on you. Yeah. Josh 1776, Michael Jordan got his dad killed over a gambling debt. Horrible person. Yeah. I've heard more bad things about Jordan than I've heard good things. Guess I'm going to hate Bill Burr. I used to really like Bill Burr. Watching F is for Family and hearing him tell jokes and stuff. But as soon as he starts opening his mouth about politics, it's like, who writes your jokes, dude? Because, like, his jokes make sense. His talking points don't, though. He's always advocating for liberals and stuff. And I'm like, what? What? How could you be so funny and so stupid at the same time? All right, hooligans, let's get into the fun stuff. Like I said, we got 2 funny videos of the day. But before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Let's go ahead and get into our funny videos here. Yes. We'll be starting right here. This first one is titled, You Got Me.
I believe they may be involved in some sort of intergalactic drug cartel, perhaps affiliated with one of the interstellar wizard alliances.
Wizard alliances?
Yes, next question.
Just a thought, more of a shot in the dark, but we wouldn't happen to be invading Iran today, would we?
You got me.
I fell for it. You almost got away with that one.
No, I went too far.
Stupid. Talking about UFOs and wizards, and he's like, nah, we're actually invading Iran. We don't ever get the honest part, though, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and get into this next one really quick. Is this right? Yeah, this is good stuff right here. This is titled, Can't Keep a Hooligan Down.
Boys, they got me. They got me for doing the biggest wheelie this town's ever seen.
Hey, who are you talking to?
My phone?
You have your phone?
Yeah, you didn't check my pockets. I got a beer, too.
Yes. He said, I got a beer, too. He's cracked the beer open in the back seat. Yes, can't keep a hooligan down. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to grab this Linktree link really quick and drop it in all of the chats. We're going to read through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. What's up, Sergeant Tripod? Happy freedom to you. Alright, hooligans, there is the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, we'd really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there, keeping the conversation going 24/7. And we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You will have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. We're actually going to be importing news into Hooligans Alley pretty soon. I got to get some things worked out, but I think we're going to end up having it. So news from all over the place will be posted automatically into Hooligans Alley, so you can get all of your news, not just from what we do, but from all over, all in one place on Hooligans Alley. It's coming up pretty soon. I just got to get some things together, like I said. But you also have access to the forums. You'll have access to the arcade. You also have access to our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go get yourself a membership over on jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. We're going to read through the chat really quick, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Oh, thank you for being here, Russell. I appreciate you. Thank you, Breeze by You. 10 Man, Jordan, Pippins, O'Neal, all badasses, though. You're not going to put Rodman on there? I thought Rodman was all right. He was entertaining, at least. Yeah, you're right, 10 Man. Russell, damn, drinking and streaming in the back of a cop car. I mean, that's a hooligan if I've ever seen one. Josh 1776, chug, chug, chug. Yeah. They pull over and open the back door. He's like down in the whole beer. Yep. Guess stand tall. I'm now paying less for gas, so all of you fucking Democrats can kiss my GOP ass. That's right. That's right. Good stuff, guess Hey, thank you, Trapper. I appreciate you. Thank you, Pumpkin. Appreciate you, Too Old to Care. Thank you for being here with us. MU cats don't like quakes either. That makes sense, considering they always want to land feet down. It's hard to tell when the ground's shaking. Shroomish, Whitest Kids You Know. I know, Hair Juicer got me like the whole series. I need to watch it. I got Tombstone. I was supposed to watch that over the weekend, but things got more complicated than I was expecting. Thank you, Rappy. Appreciate you being with us. Thank you, Meta. Harley Davidson, I found a streamer who goes by Jeff Hooligand. Wait a minute, Hoogland. Is that what it is? Hoogland? I don't know. Maybe it's somebody trying to defame me. That happens every once in a while. Somebody will take my face and make weird accounts and I don't know. There's only one of me. No, I appreciate you, Turbo. Guess I'm Kobe. Yeah, Kobe was good. Cinderella, you've seen the fakers? Yeah, they're out there. All right, looks good. Let's do the thing. All right, hooligans. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we did the thing. We're going to read through the chat one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind, but we are wrapping this up. We'll be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I'll keep an eye out for Caroline Leavitt, and we'll try and capture President Trump live. So definitely make your way back here. Like I said, we're going to read through them. We're wrapping her up. How about you? How you feeling? Yeah, you're a good boy. Mm-hmm. Hey, thank you for being here, 10 Man. Thank you, Breeze by You. Thank you, Nishada. Appreciate you, Tori Wayne. Thank you, Pumpkin. Much love to you. Thank you, Too Old to Care. Appreciate you, Dudden. Thank you, MU. Turbo, I saw you on Grindr the other day. What's up with that? Guess Guess did it. I'm blaming him. Thank you, Cinderella. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Sergeant Tripod, for making your way back to us. Thank you, Wayward. All right, hooligans. It looks like we're good to go. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I really appreciate all of you guys being here, hanging out with us, covering the news, and having some laughs. Definitely go out there and enjoy the rest of your night. Be safe. The crazies, they're out there lurking in the shadows, and they have a fetish for hammers right now. Don't fly on any planes if you can help avoid it. Be safe out there, hooligans. But go get yourself some good food. You deserve it. And I'm going to go try and do the same thing. I got 15 minutes till the grocery store closes, so I gotta make haste. Either way, I appreciate all of you guys. Make your way back to us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.